Really weird stuff. That's very weird.
Really Weird Stuff is a holistic Twin Peaks podcast. That means we discuss each episode within the context of the series as a whole. In other words, spoilers abound. Welcome to episode 34 of Really Weird Stuff podcast, wherein we will discuss Twin Peaks The Return, Part 3, Call for Help. It originally aired on Showtime May 21st, 2017. Call for Help was written by David Lynch and Mark Frost and directed by David Lynch. I'm Jessica Baxter.
I'm Amy Green.
And joining us to fall through the abyss is a returning guest, Krishane Jones.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
You previously joined us for a huge episode. There was the season 2 premiere, May the Giant Be With You.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we are very thrilled to be recording this episode in your newly remodeled basement. Would you tell us about the aesthetic that you chose for your basement?
So, my husband and I are both big Twin Peaks fans, and he is an architect. So, we designed our basement remodel after the Black Lodge. It is not a direct one-to-one. It is inspired by. So, we have some lovely mottled chevron carpet in the middle, a nice black sectional, lots of red accents. And if we have the curtains closed, you have to part the red curtains to actually enter the room. There is not an actual doorway. So we had a lot of fun bringing this vision to life over the last couple of years. It's been great. We've got little knickknacks here and there that are very Twin Peaks Black Lodge inspired. We have a Venus de Milo.
Kind of reminds me of that statue, the babe without the arms.
Little owl statuette.
The owls are not what they seem.
All sorts of fun stuff like that. It's great.
It's fantastic.
It's so beautiful. It's really cozy, too. I mean, you wouldn't think like a lodge-inspired basement would be cozy, but it really is. I mean, I guess that's because it's like, but make it fashion. It's not
right, exactly.
the actual comp, but yeah, it's so cool. I will be posting pictures on the gram, obviously.
Oh, fantastic.
And then I'm curious what your initial thoughts were about the return as a whole.
I was frustrated with it at first as a whole, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect, and I felt that it could be a bit meandering at times, so it took a second watch through for me to really appreciate it for what it was. At the time, we were actually planning our wedding as well and watching the weekly episodes, so there was a lot of life stress going on at that time as well. I'm like, get to the point. Come on. I mean, I know you're David Lynch, but like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, my initial thoughts for the return as a whole were, I wouldn't say negative, I just was like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I can see. I mean, it's definitely challenging. It was not fan service. It's maybe the least fan servicey thing I've ever seen.
Yes, absolutely.
So how many times have you seen it? Do you think
I've only watched it all the way through 2 times.
Okay, well,
yeah.
That's still plenty, I think.
That's a lot.
I still have friends who have decided they're not going to watch it because it's so different, so... It's interesting what people want out of their Twin Peaks and need out of their Twin Peaks and how they interact with the show as a result of that. Okay, well, let's get into this episode. I'm very excited. Part 3, Call for Help, opens with Coop falling through that abyss that we saw him fall into out of the Red Room when he was tricked by the doppelganger tree into non-existence. It's one of those very simple Lynch effects that are still very jarring and otherworldly. Shaky camera. And then you kind of see a Coop POV of a purple plasma cloud thing that kind of envelops him and then sucks him into... There's kind of different names for this zone because there's nothing canonical. So some fans call it the Purple Zone. Some think it's like a part of the White Lodge because it looks like where the fireman's castle kind of thing is as well. But anyway, wherever he gets dropped onto a veranda. How did you guys feel when you first saw this? Just this journey.
I mean, I really liked everything in the abyss. It's such a beautiful abyss. You know, I know it's not supposed to be a dream or anything, but so much that is surreal, whatever, is not at all what, like, dreams are actually like. But there was a lot, especially when he's, like, up on the top of it and just floating in space. Like, that's a very recurring theme for me in dreams, where I'm, like, stuck way up high on something and there's no way down.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of intense. Yeah.
It's rather peaceful, but also slightly nightmarish. Like, it kind of shifts between the two, and I really dig that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the aesthetics of that whole opening I really liked.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Eraserhead in this episode, or at least this initial part, because of like the brutalist architecture of the building. It's really funny because I just read, and I think I'd known this before, but I was reminded of the fact that Eraserhead is in part about how much David Lynch hated living in Philadelphia.
As W.C. Fields would say, I'd rather be here than Philadelphia.
So he's kind of like making fun of Philadelphia architecture whenever he has these big brutalist buildings. And then, of course, when they're on the floating thing, there's the lever that she pulls that is very reminiscent of the lever that they pull at the beginning of Eraserhead. Have you seen Eraserhead recently? It's very surprising after you've like been studying Twin Peaks for a while to see all of the seeds of the ideas that he comes to later. There's even like a zigzag floor in it.
Oh,
at one
really?
point. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
It's just a little bit, but you notice it. Anyway, he's looking out over this beautiful purple ocean, this vast purple ocean. What do you guys think that means?
Do you have a theory? It seems like you might.
Not really. I don't. He just spends a lot of time showing it. It's so cool. So he climbs through this window that is kind of a dumb window because there's a big fucking something in the way. But first we see the inside, him coming through the window, and he kind of pushes it. The way he pushes the window open, it seems like it hasn't been opened in a while. It's kind of like stuck. And then he kind of falls off the ledge into this room, and he takes it in. There's a fireplace and a circular couch and a woman sitting on the couch in a red dress with fleshy mounds where her eyes should be. So that's jarring. Some people are like, oh, her eyes are sewn shut, which there are stitches along the side, but it's more than just that. It's there's something else going on there. And she beckons to him, and then that's when stuff gets a little weird. What do you think's going on with the jerky editing and the back and forth?
I mean, much like the door being kind of stuck, it feels like something sort of stuck in time almost, interdimensionally, with the back and forth and like the jerky camera movements and everything.
Yeah. I also feel like where he is out of time and space. And so it's just like nothing's going to move in a way that you expect. And so this woman, she's obviously blind, but she can't really speak either, but her sounds are really interesting. They describe it as animal grunts, but it's definitely different than that.
Right.
There's like a sort of static effect on it too. And she's trying to tell him something. He cannot figure it out. And then he notices this panel on the wall, and it's like a steampunky panel, and it's got the number 15. They definitely spend a little time showing you the number 15. And then when does the banging start? He notices the panel, and then the banging starts, I think. It's like the scary metallic pounding. Things are getting urgent. So then he goes near the panel, and he sort of feels like he's being pulled into it. It's great acting. Sounds... You can really feel like he's drawn to it.
He had some good physical stuff in this episode.
He really does. Yes. But, this character, her name is Naido. We don't learn that until the credits. The credits have a lot to tell you, actually, especially in this episode. So Naido is like, nope, don't get sucked into that one. Let's go to the roof real quick. So she leads him along this wall to this ladder. They go up to the top, and then... Again, it's the outside of that building, but it's not in the ocean. It's back to the abyss. And there's this bell-shaped structure with two little dials on it and a big lever. And the pounding continues, and she pulls the lever, electrocutes herself, shoots off into the abyss. banging stops immediately, so thanks for that, Naido.
Yeah.
That was cool. Oh, and because we are a holistic podcast, we should mention that Naido is really Diane, trapped in this form. So it's Diane helping him out already. He doesn't know who she is. Some people thought that it was Josie when they first saw her because she's played by an Asian actress.
Yeah.
Not Josie. It's sad, too, because Joan Chen did want to be called, and she wasn't called.
Oh.
Breaks my
I
heart a
know.
little bit.
I
Yeah,
know.
he felt like everybody.
I know. But, I mean, maybe because of how she quit the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. David Lynch,
Burn some bridges.
he, doesn't talk about grudges, but there are some grudges.
Yeah.
You can tell. So Diane saves him, and he's a little surprised by that. He's looking out of the abyss, but who comes by but...
Yeah, Garland. Floating head.
Floating head
That's where
Garland
his
Briggs.
head ended up. Right?
Yeah, you were wondering about that head. There it
Yeah,
is.
there's his head.
And he says blue rose. And he says it in the Logi speak. That's, you can tell because of the way he pronounces rose. And again, Coop is talking with his regular voice. That's very important. I don't know why he's able to speak in his regular voice and everyone else has Lodge speak. But that's what's going on. And then he goes back.
He always talks like that.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he never talks back. Yeah.
I think there was one moment in the last episode where he did have a Lodge moment.
Wouldn't it be funny if it's just like Kyle MacLachlan was really bad at it? I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you can do anything except he just can't do it.
Yeah.
All right, who doesn't do it?
That would be really funny. It definitely seems so hard.
Right. Jumping ahead, like Mike was really good at it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
nailed it. We talked a little bit, I remember, early on how he seemed like it was hard. And then by now he's like, I got
This
it.
episode, yeah.
Yeah. He has so much to say, too. Like, way more than people usually get to say.
Yeah.
Then he goes back down the ladder and immediately notices that the purple glow is gone. It's just regular lighting in there. Editor's note. There is now a blue rose in a vase on the table. And he does a double take because there's another lady in red on the couch with dark hair, but it's not Naido anymore. And she looks at her watch, and then we get a close-up of the watch, and it's 2:52 and 58 seconds, 59 seconds. And then it turns 2:53, and if you remember... I like that they don't do callbacks. They did one callback a little bit later about you can go out now, but mostly they don't. Remember how the tree said 253 time and time again? You just have to remember that shit yourself. But as soon as it turns 253, this little lamp by the panel turns on, and the panel says 3 now instead of 15.
Yeah.
You guys have any theories about why the numbers changed?
I've got nothing.
I read a lot about it. The most exciting theory for me is that it is in episode 15 where Coop electrocutes himself and becomes himself again.
Oh.
So one theory is that Naido didn't want him to go out when it said 3 because it's too early.
Oh.
So she's like, nope, you can't be Coop in episode 3. You have to wait till episode 15, go through all these trials as Dougie. And then another theory is the 15 leads to Mr. C's car. Like, if he went through the 15, he would go into the cigarette lighter into Mr. C's car.
Oh, okay.
Which would be dangerous for him. So I like both of those. I really like the episode thing because it ties into how our guest in the previous episode, Michael, talked about how much of it is meta television. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I like the ideas of it being tied to the televisionness of it all.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, before he goes through, the woman on the couch stands up and turns around, and she's very familiar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not Ronette like in the credits.
No, she's credited as American Girl, even though she's played by Phoebe Augustine, Ronette Pulaski. Do you guys think that Coop recognizes her?
Well,
it's kind of hard to tell by his face.
It is. I mean, do you think she's someone he would recognize? Like, is she really supposed to be Ronette but not credited that way? Or is she just supposed to be someone else?
I think she's supposed to be someone else, but she definitely has Ronette's face for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a theory that she is, because they're like, okay, well, if Naido is Diane, frustratingly not an anagram of Diane. Like, why not?
I was really working that in my head.
Me
I was
too.
trying to make it happen. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's an I-A-N in
letters.
there, but then it just falls
I
apart.
really wanted it to be. It's too easy, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, who could she be in disguise? And some people think it's Laura. Like, she got sucked away and maybe put in disguise in American Girl. And then I think a good argument for that is because of the line in Fire Walk With Me that Albert says.
Well, damn, Cooper, that really narrows it down. You're talking about half the high school girls in America.
She's like an amalgamation of a troubled American girl. And Laura's still trying to help him. And she got in trouble for helping him the first time, so she's doing it in disguise now.
Or maybe she's like the Maddie to Ronette's Laura.
Oh, I like that too.
I like that.
Editor's note. A Reddit theory suggests that Laura's spirit split in two to create Naido and American Girl.
And she says, when you get there, you'll already be there. Which is one of those few times when those lines make sense very quickly. Like, you're like, I get it now. I know what you mean by that. And then the banging gets louder and louder, and then she says, you better hurry, my mother's coming. Here's a fun holistic theory I read about the banging. Because there are other instances where stuff is happening out of time or out of order. You know, like, what we're watching is not necessarily how things unfolded. Some people think that the banging is Sarah Palmer stabbing the picture.
Oh.
In episode 17. And that's an interesting theory of, like, the different things that are portals to the other world.
Right.
Like, if that picture is a portal, that's why it's so important. And another tie-in to that is the fact that that's the face you see in the glowing orb. So, I don't know. I love it. No wrong answers, I tell you. What. Someone was like, has anyone matched up the banging with the stabbing, and does it line up exactly? But no one had done that. It's a project, if anyone wants to do that. So then we cut to the foothills of South Dakota, Mr. C driving in his stolen Lincoln. He's headed to Yankton prison to get Ray and the coordinates, but inconveniently it's 2:53. Right. I love that analog clock dashboard. That is cool.
Yeah.
He looks like he's in a lot of pain. We got a lot of frequent cuts to the dashboard and the cigarette lighter hole, electrical sounds. Driving erratically. It's a good thing that this is happening in a desolate area because it gets dangerous. Then we're back to Coop, and he is getting closer to the panel, and it's starting to make like crackling sounds, and then he gets like electrocuted. There's like a shoot of electricity, and he gets dazed, and if you notice, that's kind of when he puts his comatose Dougie face on. Very subtle. He's still alert until then, and then he's like, ugh. And then this is just such a fun, simple effect of him getting sucked through the hole.
I love it so much.
But not his shoes.
I know, that's the fun part.
His shoes
don't
can't
make
come.
it. They just drop, you know.
It's weird, though, because he's also wearing the FBI pin, and he doesn't have it when he goes through, but that doesn't fall to the floor. Yeah. What happens to that FBI pin? I don't know.
Editor's note. Via a Reddit theory, Coop loses his shoes so that he may walk in someone else's.
Back to Mr. C, driving erratically, and then he crashes the car. He flips it. It does a complete 360 turn, smashing. That's a really good car stunt. You feel it. You see all the smashing, the camera inside the car with the glass coming at the camera. It's really cool. It must be really fun to crash a car for a movie.
God, it doesn't seem like something I would like to do, but I guess if you're a stunt driver, that's your fun thing.
Well, I mean, I wonder if there was anyone in the car for the actual flip. I don't know. Who knows? Nobody, that's who.
Movie magic.
That's when Mr. C sees some red curtains materializing before him, and he's like, oh, fuck. Cut to Rancho Rosa Estates. And just in case you didn't notice the double R's,
Right, yep.
they circled them for you.
I know. And then show them later on the
Yeah.
donut box. Right.
Yep.
Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention, Krishane, is we like to look for motifs throughout the episode, and definitely double R motif. This is a sort of desolate community outside of Vegas. We cut to a house that's for sale next to a whole bunch of other houses that are for sale in this community. In the driveway is a yellow Jeep and a white Ford sedan. Inside is a dude that looks just like Coop, only he hasn't taken care of himself.
Different hair. Very noticeable hair.
Yeah, he's been wearing a rug all this time.
What? I can't believe it. It looks so natural.
That chartreuse sport jacket, I just love.
Oh, yeah. It's good. It looks like it's good quality.
It does.
And there's a beautiful woman helping him button up his shirt. This is Jade. She's completely naked.
Editor's note. Jade isn't completely naked. Around her neck, she wears a gold pendant of a hand holding a ring.
Tastefully framed.
Yeah.
Editor's note. A Redditor points out that the way Jade is positioned above Coop invokes Laura in the Red Room, standing over him and whispering into his ear.
And I assume she's helping him with the shirt because of his arm. It's funny that she doesn't ask him about it until after she's finished buttoning up his shirt.
Dougie, what is wrong with your arm?
I don't know.
Huh.
I think I fell asleep. Sort of tingly.
I'm kind of tingly too.
Guess which arm it is. It's the left.
Just before her time, Teresa's arm went completely dead.
What do you mean?
Her left arm. It was numb. She said she couldn't use it.
As you may recall, Teresa Banks and Laura Palmer both had numb left arms just before getting... And they were both wearing the Al Cave ring at the time, and so is Dougie.
Yeah.
He's speaking kind of drowsily, but not anywhere near Coop Dougie slowly. So
Yeah. This is like
the
your
real
only
Dougie.
glimpse of real Dougie.
Yeah. He's not the brightest bulb.
Doug ELV.
He's just happy to be alive.
He loves his life.
I mean, this is a good afternoon, right?
He's having a
You know,
great
good
time. It seems like, yeah. Jade's really sweet. She says, I'm kind of tingly too, and she takes the money out of his hand and counts it and goes to the bathroom. She's a very nice lady, this Jade.
Yeah, I like Jade.
I like her.
Yeah.
Editor's note. In Chinese culture, the same culture that mentions Jiao Dai, or Judy, Jade is a symbol of virtue, wisdom, justice, nobility, perfection, and immortality.
Dougie stands up, struggles to put his jacket on over his dead arm, grips his stomach in pain, and collapses to the floor. Back to Mr. C, also having a bad time. Back to Dougie, crawling to the bathroom, but Jade smartly locked the door. Then Dougie crawls back to the bedroom, barfs on the carpet. This is some amazing barf design.
God, yeah.
Oh, it's so disgusting. I love it.
Because how did they keep all those bits separate? Like, the Garmonbozia is so clear.
Right.
And so separate from the black bile and the blood. And it's also just interesting that Dougie's barf looks like that. You expect Mr. C's to look like that because he does eat Garmonbozia. That's like his thing. Mm-hmm. But Dougie shouldn't need to eat Garmonbozia or actually do it. He just likes creamed corn, I guess. The creamed corn at the Silver Mustang Casino is particularly good.
Or maybe it's just to show the connection between the three people.
Yeah. It's just a visual. Right after he barfs, the curtains appear before him, and he disappears with a loud bang. That Jade hears, but she doesn't get out of the shower to check, which
Right.
I appreciate.
Yeah.
She's like, he'll handle it. I'll finish up here.
Babe.
Not my problem anymore. Cut back to Mr. C, holding in the barf. Still, he sees Dougie appear in the chair, and that's when he can't hold it in anymore.
Yeah.
But what comes out of him is a lot more than like a neat little cat barf pile.
I appreciate he works so hard trying to keep it in.
He's trying not to, I know. But it's too much to swallow. I really love movie barf for some reason. It's just an effect that I always think is so
I'm not with you on
funny.
that one, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive sometimes when it's like projectile. It's like, how'd they do that, you know? But
I'm with you.
Look for the hand.
Yeah.
Look for the hand in front of the mouth. If
Yeah.
you see a hand in front of the mouth, it's going to be a lot because they're going for the hose.
Yeah. Like straight up projectile, like goes through the fingers and
Yes.
starts dripping everywhere. Yeah, that's some quality movie barf.
I also really liked when Dougie did his, because it was a little cat barf pile, he did like 3 little horks like a cat would. I'd like to think Kyle MacLachlan was thinking about a cat when he did that. Yeah, it goes everywhere. And then we get this Red Room guitar cue that you hear throughout the episode, so I'm calling it a motif. You just hear that same little bling
The
sound.
double R Red Room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And we see Dougie sitting in a chair, very confused.
I feel funny.
Yeah.
And he looks at Al Strobel, and this is interesting. The credits call him Philip Gerard.
Oh.
And when I noticed that, I did a little research, and I learned that he is never credited as Mike.
Oh.
Ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's the one-armed man, and then he's Philip Gerard. So, yeah, that makes you think.
Fascinating.
Like, what happened to Mike? Is this
Right.
actually just poor Philip stuck in there having to do all this lodge work? That
Maybe.
sucks. That sucks for him.
Someone manufactured you for a purpose, but I think no, that's been fulfilled.
Dougie not wearing shoes either. Something about shoes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can't bring the shoes with you. I guess you had to leave the shoes so that Coop could have shoes. It's the little things. It's kind of obvious that he's in a special effects thing because of the way he's like sitting, and then his hand, when it starts to shrink, it's just his head in there. But I appreciate how every time you see someone sitting in that chair for the rest of the season, they're all in that same position.
Mm.
It makes you think more like, oh, that's how you sit in that chair, and not, this is a special effect coming. And his hand shrinks.
That's weird.
Just
Pretty
horrifying.
funny.
Yeah.
The ring falls to the floor. There's just a beautiful sound when it falls.
Mm-hmm.
Just a sustained note. Like one of those singing bowls almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly Dougie's head disappears. Black smoke billows out of his neck. And Philip looks like he doesn't really know what's happening right now. He's a little confused. But then the gold ball floats out of his neck. And that's known as a tulpa seed. That little gold ball. And then the rest of Dougie shrinks down. And then he kind of turns into this, like, carbon cluster that looks like the evolution of the arm's fleshy head, but black. And then it barfs out the gold ball. Somehow Philip knows that there's a big bright flash coming, so he covers his eyes with his arm. And then all that's left is this gold ball. So he picks up the ring and the gold ball. Well, here's just a little side note, something I wish I'd known about for the last episode. Remember we talked about how Mr. C, before he shoots Phyllis, he says, "You follow human nature perfectly."
Mm-hmm.
We thought he was just manipulating her, but there's a Reddit theory that, like, Mr. C just made tulpas all over the place. He's just got tulpas here and there.
Oh.
Huh.
So Phyllis was perhaps a tulpa that he wasn't sure if she was going to work out, but she followed human nature perfectly. I don't know. It seems like it's hard to make a tulpa, but he's got unlimited resources.
Yeah. What else does he have to do?
Right. Then pan across the chevron floor to the table with a marble top and a gold pedestal. You see it in Firewalk with Me. You put the alcove ring there so that you don't lose it. And anyone can come and get it when they need it, I guess.
You gotta keep track of that.
It's pretty important. Fade to a 4-hole electrical outlet in the double R house.
I always love when they shot of that because it really makes it look like little faces like
Yeah.
Shock alarm.
And you know what? David Lynch agrees with you. I saw somewhere, I forget where now, but there was definitely somewhere where he mentioned the surprised face of the outlet hole.
Yeah, that's how it looks.
That's just what it looks like. Electrical sounds throughout this scene, of course. Cut to the barf on the floor, and the top right outlet kind of blinks, and here comes long, skinny Coop and some black smoke. He lands right next to the barf, but not on it. Very good placement. Great job, everybody. And then this is so funny.
Yeah.
Jade's coming out all dressed. I love that she just completely finished getting ready before she came in and was like, "What was that noise?" And this is just so funny the way it unfolds.
Oh my god, Dougie, what the hell? Where'd you get that suit? And haircut? Have you been wearing a rug all this time, Dougie? Oh my God, are you sick, Dougie?
Where'd you get the suit?
Where-
Where'd you get the haircut?
Have you been wearing a rug all this time? And also, that's funny because it's like the worst wig in the whole show.
Yeah.
like, yes, obviously. And then the last thing she sees is the barf and says, oh my God, are you sick?
Right.
We gotta get out of this house. And here's when I decided Jade definitely has at least one kid. Because she is so patient throughout this whole process of getting Dougie out of the house.
Come on, Dougie. Dougie, did you forget something? Your shoes? I'll get them. Dougie, could you quit fucking around? And put on your shoes. Here. Put on your damn shoes.
Like, that's so relatable. Like, as a parent, like, get your shoes on.
Let me help you.
Like, we have to go, I'll do it. It's easier if I
That's why
just...
you become 8 and still can't tie your shoes, because I'm like, yo!
And the fact that he follows her in there.
And goes back inside, I know, and she's like, what the fuck? It's great. She's terrific.
Yeah.
And she says, could you quit fucking around? And that just makes me think later on when Janie said,
Okay, Dougie, you're acting weird as shit.
I love the way, like, men actually seem kind of more patient with Dougie for some reason. Women are just like, what is wrong with you? Gets the shoes on. Even saying, put on your damn shoes, that's such a mom phrase.
Right.
Like, the first swear a child ever hears probably is, put on your damn shoes.
Like, because it's like the 7th time you've
Right?
asked it too.
It
Okay,
just
we gotta
takes
go get your shoes on.
so long.
Okay, we gotta get your shoes on. Okay, your shoes are right there.
Now put the other one on.
Right, exactly. Like, you have to, okay, I'm going to walk you through every step of this.
Right, like I'm not a parent, but I do have a niece and nephew.
I'm sure
I've seen it.
You've seen it modeled, yes. And then the keys. Of course, he doesn't have his keys. Although this isn't really his fault because the jacket with the keys disappeared.
Right, it's that one.
You do have your keys, right?
You know where the keys are, but ain't nobody gonna get them. But she needs to fish in the pocket to find the plastic room key.
Yeah.
The Great Northern Room 315.
315.
Oh, 315.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's a motif. 3 and 15.
Yeah.
And numbers are always important because David Lynch is a big numbers guy. So it's always worth looking up the meaning of numbers. You numerology folks out there, I'm sure you know what's going on. Editor's note. According to astrology.com, 315 is known as an angel number. 315 is a message of growth, creativity, and new beginnings. It's a sign that you're on the right path and your hard work is paying off. Trust in your intuition and remain open to receiving guidance from your angels. Keep your thoughts and vibrations positive, and you'll attract positive experiences and opportunities into your life. Oh, and then the other thing I hadn't thought about before, just going back to when Coop got jolted and turned comatose, that he has to get electrocuted again to become normal.
Right.
That's just such a soap opera thing.
I know, it's like you hit your head for amnesia and then, all right, hit it again. Now you're...
And there's not that many soap opera elements in The Return, I think, but that one,
Definitely one.
pretty glaring. So Jade has to give him 2 rides.
Right.
You mean Jade has to give you 2 rides?
Get in her big yellow Jeep, and that's when we see the vanity plate for the first time. Dougie Love. Doug Love. Dougelv. You know what it says.
I thought it was LV for Vegas.
Oh, that makes sense
That's
too.
what I
I always
thought.
thought it was Love. Dougie
I
Love.
thought it was Dougie Las Vegas.
That's so funny. I never thought about Las Vegas, but you're probably right. But then he's like such a lover. He's Dougie Love.
I never would have thought of that as being Dougie Love.
Wow.
Like,
What do you think, Krishane? What did you think when you first saw that?
Oh, Dougie Love.
Dougie
Yeah.
Love?
Really?
Yep, that's how I read it.
but there's no U in it.
True.
Yeah, and he could have put a U in.
Because there's a space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're probably right, but
Yeah.
it's interesting. And so as Jade is driving them out of there, there's a red sports muscle car that pulled in that I meant to look up what it was, but I forgot. Editor's note. This car is a 1972 Dodge Charger. There are just so many different cars. I really believe that cars are important in
Yeah.
David Lynch aesthetic. This guy's Gene. He gets a name, Gene.
She just drove by in a Wrangler. Looked like maybe 2 people, but his car's still here.
Cut to this other guy whose name is Jake, but we don't know that until the credits. He's all set near the entrance.
If he's in the car, I'll get him here.
And so then they cut back to Jade, and she's been giving him some instructions. She's mid-sentence.
Once you find your wallet or your cell phone, a payphone, or some money, you can call AAA, Dougie. They will help you.
She's just trying everything. They will help you. I like the way she accents they.
Right.
Call AAA. They will help you. I'm nearing the end of my willingness to help you. Very fair. Coop is distracted by a sign that says Sycamore Street.
The sycamore tree.
Then he says the first lines that he said on this plane of existence in 25 years.
Jade, give 2 rights.
Oh my god.
That's so funny that at that point, that's when Jade is like, oh my god. It took her that long to get to that point. So much patience. I kind of feel like more than anybody else, Jade acts the most normal about his idiosyncrasies. Like, she's exasperated in a very real way that other people are not. So Coop takes the Great Northern key out of his pocket just as they hit a speed bump, and everything's just unfolding exactly the way it needs to, because he has to bend over to pick it up,
Right.
and that's why they make it past the assassin.
He's not in the car.
And thank God, because I don't want Jade getting hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's also important that he doesn't manage to pick it up again, because Jade then eventually mails it back to the Great Northern.
All right.
Frank, do you have the room key to the Great Northern Hotel, 315?
How do you know, Bob?
Major Briggs told me Sheriff Truman would have it.
So Gene's like, okay, I'll load up his car. They're gonna meet at Mikey's. While Gene is putting some sort of TV explicit on the car,
Right.
which is just so easy, apparently. He's like, I'll load up.
Pop right on there.
Exactly. It's just a self-adhesive. And then from across the street, we see a little boy looking through the blinds. And elsewhere in this room, we meet a character named Drugged Out Mother.
Facts, yeah.
Yeah. And she's sitting at a Formica table.
This is the far right.
It seems like it could be. Saying 119 over and over again.
119! 119!
What were your initial impressions of Drugged Out Mother?
Is she like trying to say 911 or trying to indicate that?
Yeah. I mean, it's important, I think, that she's saying 911 backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got a very interesting collection of things on the table.
Indeed.
An empty glass, a pill bottle with 1 pill remaining. 2 of the pill bottles on the table don't have prescriptions on them, but 1 does. But not the one she gets the pill out of. A bottle of Evan Williams that's 2/3 of the way gone. A very full ashtray in the shape of a heart. That's nice.
Oh, that's nice.
About a nickel for every cigarette your mom smoked. I'd be dead.
A deck of red playing cards, a torch lighter, a box for the playing cards, and a safety pin. Some people have drawn the connection between the safety pin and the playing cards to the card that Mr. C pulls out and shows to Daria because it has like a scratch on the top.
Oh.
But that deck is blue.
No.
But it is interesting. And behind her on the floor is a red balloon. Balloons do come up again. There's like a lot of pictures of balloons in the Lucky 7 insurance office, like just on the walls. And balloons for Sonny Jim's birthday. What Drugged Out Mother made me think of was Laura Palmer and how many drugs she had to do to try to drown out the lodge that was, the encroachment of the lodge.
Yeah.
Right.
So that made me feel like this lady's had some sort of interaction with the lodge spirit. Maybe Mr. C, hopefully not. And then her poor son sitting on the couch eating saltines.
Yeah.
I read another very far-fetched theory, but it's, I guess, possible that this is a failed version of Janie E. and Sonny Jim, which is why, like, if Dougie's a real estate agent, which I don't feel like there is any indication that he is other than the way he's dressed, Jade's the one that has the combination of the key.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be very sad if that were the case. I guess it's sad either way.
Yeah.
I'll load up his car.
Why have these guys been hired to kill Dougie?
Right.
Most likely, I think, because that's the trap that Mr. C set. He made Dougie, wants him to come out through Dougie, and then kill Dougie, and then he will have killed Coop permanently. Which I think is why people keep trying to kill Dougie for the rest of the series. But also, Dougie's involved in all sorts of crimes, so he's very crime adjacent.
Could be any number of things.
Right. Like, who would try to kill you? Well, let me
narrow it down. South Dakota, Mr. C's crashed Lincoln. 2 highway patrolmen come blaring up, which is so ACAB of them. Like, there's no one around. Woo! Just had to do it. They're both credited as Patrolman 1 and Patrolman 2, but one guy calls the other one Billy, which I only noticed because there's a Billy later on. There are frequently double names in the return. Billy is also the guy that Audrey's looking for.
Oh, right.
You have no balls. That's why I'm in love with Billy.
And then those 2 ladies at the roadhouse talk about Billy.
Have you seen Billy? No, not for a couple of days. I heard you were the last person to see Billy. It was so fucking scary.
And that's the same Billy, right?
That's the same Billy. Yeah. Not Cop Billy.
Not Cop, yeah.
But what the hell, Billy?
What the hell, Billy? Oh, God, something awful, isn't there?
There's something awful in there. Apparently, whatever comes out of Mr. C is not just stinky, but toxic. It's like poisonous.
Gas masks.
Yeah, bring some masks.
Dispatch, we need an ambulance and tell them to bring gas masks. There is something bad in this vehicle.
And I think it's funny that he says there's something bad in this vehicle because it's bad Coop. It's in there. Yeah.
Not a lie.
It's so true. Cut to Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department, sunrise. Remember how Hawk said he'd come back in the morning and bring the donuts? Well, he did that. They've got a cute little sign, donut disturb, in the conference room door. What a scene. Andy and Lucy sit across from each other. All the evidence laid out. And Hawk comes in with his pink box of donuts and the cardboard coffee carafe from the Double R To Go. This is the first time we see the Double R To Go logo. It's a little different. Yeah. You could always get stuff to go from the Double R, but it didn't say to go. And then this is like waiting for Godot dialogue almost.
We've laid everything out, Hawk, and we can't find anything that's missing.
If it's not here, then how do you know it's missing?
But if it is here, then it isn't missing?
We laid everything out, Hawk, and we can't find anything that's missing.
Right. That's such a hard
Brilliant.
I don't see anything that's missing.
But I mean, to Andy's credit, he did say, look through all the evidence for something that's missing. So he tried to do that. It's hard. Right. It's hard to follow the clues that Margaret gives you, you know? You do your best. You can't call her back and ask follow-up questions. That's not how it works. Right. If it's not there, then how do you know it's missing? And then I just love this Lucy line so much. This is maybe one of my favorite things that Lucy ever says. But if it is here, then it isn't missing. And then Andy says the most helpful thing he's ever said.
This is here.
Poor Hawk. This is like a glimpse into Hawk's life. Right. This is what it's been like for him.
These two. Why did I even ask them?
Right? Well, because we've seen who else is helping him out. Chad's not gonna help. Chad's gonna make things worse, if anything. This is the best help he has, and it's not great.
Right.
Hello. Which one is this?
Tevi.
Hello, Tevi. Is there a marking that you can tell apart? Is it the little chest?
No, they both have those.
Oh, gosh.
It's the collar color.
Oh.
I mean, I can tell them apart now just because she's the long cat with the big eyes and the big ears, and Machak is like a little fuzzier, a little more like a potato.
A mother nose.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute. Perfect black kitties that blend in with the black couch.
Yeah, we really thought that.
So back to these guys. Let's sit down, he says, and he's the only one standing.
That was low-key hilarious.
Yeah.
Let's sit down. Let me sit down.
I kind of feel like another motif is like people having to parent adults. Hawk is the dad, and he's like kind of the lost single dad, like who's been stuck with these kids. He's like, I didn't ask for this.
Right.
Let's start from the beginning. He repeats the clue from Margaret.
Something is missing and I need to find it. The way I'm gonna find it has something to do with my heritage.
And then Lucy says,
You are an Indian.
oh Lord, Lucy. How does Hawk deal with this? And apparently that's how he's going to find what's missing.
Editor's note. The way Hawk finds what's missing is he drops an Indian head penny on the floor of the bathroom at the police station. When he bends to retrieve it, he notices part of the stall door is unattached. He searches inside and finds 3 of the 4 missing pages from Laura's secret diary.
And then Lucy thinks she knows. She is distraught. What a weird callback of all things. This is a callback. They did indeed find a box of chocolate bunnies in Laura Palmer's bedroom. Oh. It was just like a throwaway sentence. And they logged it as evidence.
Diane, I'm holding in my hand a small box of chocolate bunnies.
There's more than one missing.
Yeah.
Right.
2 are empty. But Laura must have eaten one.
Are you okay, Bluesky?
I know what's missing.
What's missing?
The bunny. The bunny. I ate that bunny.
She's horrified. I ate that bunny. And then this line of thinking, do bunnies have anything to do with your heritage? The whole thing about the gas.
And I had read that sometimes chocolate, which I love, can be used as a remedy? Maybe by indigenous people? Is that true, Hawk?
But we get this wonderful line.
It's not about the bunny.
And I also really love Lucy's delivery.
You ate the evidence, Lucy?
I know! And I never did it again. And I only ate one, and I never did it again.
I never ate evidence.
And then Andy's like, do you want another bunny? I can get you more bunnies. But can he? Is it Easter time right now? I don't think it is.
That's right.
It's hard to get chocolate bunnies out of season.
Editor's note. Some Redditors have pointed out the sacrificial themes associated with Christian Easter.
But it's not about the bunny.
Is it about the bunny? No. It's not about the bunny.
When Hawk says this, Lucy is so relieved. Until that moment, until he says definitively, no, it's not about the bunny, she can't relax. Cut to Whitetail Peak. This is one where I just am really not sure if this has anything to do with anything. I feel like this might just be like sort of a straight story kind of cutaway. This is 2 minutes and 20 seconds of shovel painting. I had to time it because I'm like, yeah. And literally all that happens is Dr. Jacoby spray paints some shovels. I guess the most interesting thing about it is the contraption that he's DIY to do so.
Yeah.
There's bicycle wheels involved.
Moves, and then moves another way.
Yeah, 2 pedals, 2 like sort of sewing machine pedals.
Mm-hmm.
So that keeps it interesting. And he's wearing his glasses under his gas mask. And I noticed for some reason the mask itself has gold paint on it, but only the outside and then the middle you can see through. But I'm like, how did that happen? It looks cool, but what happened there? Anybody have any theories about Dr. Jacoby and why the fuck he's here?
No.
We see him later, right? With the shovels are like a whole thing.
Yeah, that's basically his whole thing in the return, right? Just the gold shovels.
Yeah.
That's it. It's its own little self-contained thing.
Yeah. I mean, it helps Nadine.
Right.
The weird thing about it to me is that David Lynch never feels like he has to check in on people unless it's important. So why was that important? I don't know. Right. But yet again, Dr. Jacoby. I guess he's just there so that we have somebody to give the LVP to. Spoiler alert.
This is where we are in time.
Yeah, there you go. Grounding us. It's hard to know where we are in time.
What year is this?
We're at the Silver Mustang Casino. Why it's not a white Mustang, I don't know.
The horse is the white of the eyes and dark within.
But it's the Silver Mustang, and Jade pulls up, and I wondered if this is where she met Dougie. Like, why would she bring him there otherwise?
Oh, yeah.
Because I guess he does spend a lot of time there, losing money, usually.
Go inside, Dougie. Someone will help you in there.
He says, in there.
Not here.
I love this.
And I think you should try to forget you ever met me. Shouldn't be too hard for you.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Right. Seems like you're on your way.
Yeah. Toodaloo now.
I'm way ahead of you, Jade.
Yeah. He doesn't forget, though, because later he does say Jade gave 2 rides to Jeannie. I'll bet she did. I love Jeannie. Yeah, sick burn. That's like the meanest thing Jade says, too. She's just such a sweet, patient saint. Hands him $5.
Now here's $5. Call for help.
Call for help.
Right.
What's interesting is that in every episode, well, this is the 3rd episode, but part 1 and 2, one person had the titular line. It was Margaret and both. And then this one, lots of people say, call for help.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's like, and maybe a doctor, because I think you might have had a little stroke or something.
And I think you should maybe call a doctor or something, because I think you might have had a little stroke or something.
Something.
Which is, like, kind of right, I guess. I mean, you got
It's like tingly arm is like
something like that.
Yeah.
Heart attack. Tingly arm is something.
I think that's
heart attack.
Heart attack,
Heart
but
attack, yeah.
there might be some crossover. There is something. Oh, a stroke is like smelled toast, right?
Burnt toast. Yeah.
He had a supernatural stroke. That's a whole different thing. I love that she presses the money into his hand because he just is like doing nothing. And then she says,
you can go out now.
This is a very rare moment of TV recap.
You can go out now.
I'd like to see Laura in every episode if we can. Just
get
Cheryl Lee in there if you can. And then again, like a very kid moment. Oh my god.
Dougie, go. Come on, let's get you out of here. Come on, let's go, Dougie.
Go! Get out of the car.
Across, unbuckle him,
open the door, and then he walks away and leaves the door open.
I love that she doesn't even act surprised that he left it open. She doesn't even try to say shut it. She's like,
yeah, I mean, that's just like, that's a relatable moment for me. Fern eventually got over it, but there were many days she would just get out of the car and walk away, and I'm like, oh, I have to unbuckle my seatbelt to close the door. I feel you, Jade.
I've always had the minivan where it just
oh yeah, that's
slides.
Nice. That is nice. She's out of there. Dougie's not her problem anymore.
Good for her.
Yes. Dougie stands in front of the revolving door for a minute, and then this is just like such a beautiful, long shot of physical comedy. Just wonderful. Static shot of him trying to work the revolving door. And then the security guard that's standing there, and he's like, do I need to do anything about this?
Right. It's almost funnier just watching the security guard on it.
It's like, I really don't want to do anything. Don't make me work, please.
Seems like this is working itself out, right?
But eventually he makes it in, and then he holds the $5 up to the guard that's inside.
Call for help. In the back, Jack.
Such a perplexing thing that the guy says, in the back, Jack. Is that zombies walk in and want to play slots? Like, that's what he thinks?
Yeah, I don't know. I can figure that out either.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
Are there payphones back there? Because eventually everyone decides that he wants to go play the slots. I wonder. Like, the lost souls that walk in there, that's where they want to go, is to the back.
Well, and he says in the back, Jack, but then he starts walking toward the back, and then he directs him over to go get coins.
Hey! You need some change.
What are you doing to this poor guy?
The security guards at the Silver Mustang, not great. Not top quality help. I mean, I guess that does come up time and time again. He walks over to the cashier, toddles over, I guess.
Some change.
And she's like trying to flirt with him, I think, a little bit, but then before she realizes there's something wrong with this guy.
Well, how do you want it? You play a game?
Game.
What game are you going to play?
Call for help.
She makes some change for him, doesn't even count it out. She just grabs like a scoop of coins off the counter and puts it in. And then I like the way that she holds her hand to her heart in a concerned way, like, bless my heart, that poor guy. Oh well, I guess he's off to ruin his life.
Exactly. The whole, like, well, he wants money, so he can go gamble. Guess it's not my problem.
Yeah. That's why Jade just went so above and beyond. I feel like everybody else was like, do I need to do anything? No, I don't. And she was just like, all right, as long as this guy's in my orbit, I have to take care of him. He's my responsibility. She's so sweet. Anyway, so he wanders back to the slot area and comes upon a man who's played by John Ennis from Mr. Show.
Honey, where are all the bags?
In the bag hutch.
No shit.
Fun little
I did not
casting
notice that.
shot. He looks a lot older.
Yeah, that's why I did not notice that.
Older and bearded. I didn't know it until I saw it in the credits. That's the only way I figured that out. He's playing a game called Tropical Treasure. And he gets trip sevens, holds his hands wide open. Hello! And Coop is like, got it. Oh, he also rubs a quarter between his forefinger and thumb first. So he has this little ritual, but he says hello after he sees the trip seven, and then Coop always does it like before it comes up.
As soon as he holds the thing.
He hears that little guitar cue and looks up and sees this like ghostly triangle apparition of the Red Room over a nearby machine.
The first game Coop plays is called Fives and Sparklers.
Fives. I'm sure that's meaningful.
Editor's note. Fives are a motif in this episode. From numerology.com, 5 is a master of change, able to go with the flow and adapt itself, to thrive in different environments and social situations. Jade gives Coop a $5 bill, and then we see him win 5 mega jackpots in this episode. He continues to win in part 4, for a total of 30 jackpots and $425,000.
He sits down, does the thing, rubs the coin.
Hello?
And of course he gets an immediate jackpot. And then an obnoxious guy comes by.
Ah, you broke that one. You broke it real good.
Okay.
Guess what this character is called? This character's name is Wise Guy.
Oh, wow.
He broke that one real good. Of course, Coop doesn't collect any of the quarters. He just starts to wander off, and then he hears another guitar cue, follows it over to Lady Slot Addict, is this character's name at this point. A lady in filthy clothes. She notices him sit down in front of Martini Madness.
Hello?
And then he wins, and she scowls at him. She is so funny. Yeah. She's like, I've been here rooting my life, and you win on the first.
Vibe.
Oh, yeah. She's not doing okay. Floor attendant Jackie approaches.
Congratulations, sir. You are a mega winner. You've just won 2 mega jackpots for a total of $28,400. It's much more than these quarters.
It's much more than these quarters. But he's not done. He's still got more to win. She walks off to get him a bigger bucket, which I love too, because they're like, and I hope you keep gambling so that you lose all this money again. But he sees another jackpot cue over the machine next to Lady Slots. She thinks he's trying for her machine, so she covers it, flips him off.
Right.
So he's like, okay. And he hears another cue and wanders off toward that. And then, yeah, she notices the quarters and the security guard, and she's pissed off she can't steal the money, which he wasn't going to use it anyway, but... Right. He sees 3 more glyphs, so he's making more money, and then Jackie comes back, he's gone. Lady Slot says,
Enough cake left.
Coop plays Big Payday, gets trip sevens again, and that's when Lady Slots figures out what's going on and plays the machine that Coop was pointing at. And she wins and is very happy.
Yeah, good for her.
And this saves her life, which is really great.
Mr. Jackpots.
Editor's note. From numerology.com. 7 is not satisfied with simple explanations and surface-level information. It knows the real gold is buried deeper and won't stop until it finds it. Exploring the mysteries of life gives 7 its purpose. Because of its insatiable need to look below the surface, the number 7 may upset a good thing by making assumptions or digging for answers where there are none. It is always assuming there is more to the story, even when there really isn't.
I noticed that his hello got more musical each time it happened also. It was like a little bit longer, a little bit more musical.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, what's up with that?
He's like getting into it.
Yeah. He's like, this is more than just destiny. This is fun. I'm having fun.
Right?
He only gets to have fun a couple times.
Yeah.
So. Let him have his fun. But also, PSA, it's not really like that when you go to the casino. It's a lot more like lady slots. Ooh, cut to FBI headquarters in Philadelphia. Do you know what that building is that they show? There's definitely some sort of founding father looking dude on top of this dome. Last time we cut to Philadelphia, they showed the Liberty Bell. Sorry, I feel like it must be some iconic Philadelphia thing.
Editor's note. This is the Philadelphia City Hall building, featuring a rare up-close drone shot of the statue of William Penn, the man who founded the province of Pennsylvania. Part of the season motif of drones bringing us views we can't get from the ground, aka the owl's eye view.
Agents Albert Presenfield, yay, Gordon Cole, yay, and Tammy Preston, who we have only previously met if you had read The Secret History of Twin Peaks, because she narrates that. Oh. But she's in reality played by Krista Bell, who is a singer from LA that David Lynch took a shine to.
Aww.
Some people are critical of her acting, but not me. I think she's great.
I think it's fine.
I think they're just jealous about how she fills out an FBI suit, personally. There's definitely lots of tributes to Tammy's suit wielding a little bit later on. This is just like a comedy scene, I think. I feel like this whole bit is just levity, the beginning part. Albert is giving a brief about some senator who was accused of murdering his wife.
He claims he's innocent and knows who did it. These items, which he placed in his garden in Georgetown, are the clues to the identity of the killer.
He can't say who did it because of national security.
National security.
It's like, well, they're going to arrest them, presumably.
Right?
I don't know. It's the congressman's dilemma.
The congressman's dilemma.
Right.
They all seem to know what he means by that.
Right.
What a fun collection of clues. What do y'all think about this collection of clues?
It's a pretty fun collection.
It's an attractive collection.
Do you think the murderer was a woman in a bikini by any chance? I don't know.
Or two women in bikinis.
Right. Or a small sailor boy.
Small Victorian-looking child.
That picture is weird. What's going on with that picture?
And he's looking straight at the camera, too.
It looks photoshopped, but like, why? It looks like the picture from that episode of Seinfeld that George badly photoshops out of, because most perplexingly, a mason jar filled with dry lima beans.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And I like that at the end, after they run through all of that, Tammy's just really eyeing the mason jar like, what the fuck is this? Everything else I don't question, but this is weird. And a gun with a strap and silencer. That's the one thing that makes the most sense in regard to a murder.
All right, you all can go get to work on this. And Tammy, you stay and show me and Albert what you found in New York.
Tammy stands up and turns on the TV, and we see a photo exterior of the New York loft. That's great. Click to the next picture. Whoa! Oh, yeah. But nobody reacts like that. Everyone's like, okay.
I mean, that's what they were expecting to see. Yeah.
Perfectly normal, run-of-the-mill FBI thing of a couple lying together on a couch with their heads exploded, basically. Yeah. And that's where I realized that a motif of this episode is necks without heads. This is way more gross than the first time we saw it, though. Those poor guys. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention, like a sound design connection in the purple room when Naida's like trying to keep Coop from going into the 15 panel. She's kind of like pawing at him. The sounds that happen then are the same sounds that happen when the experiment is murdering Sam and Tracy.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
I don't know why that is. But it is the same. Maybe it's just like otherworldly whooshing sound. I don't know. This is just what it sounds like. There are apparently repeated uses of certain sounds. That's one of them. And she says that the NYPD doesn't have a clue, obviously. They don't even know who owns the place. place. But we do. That's one thing we do know. Mr. C owns that place. They can't find any of the guards, so that one guy, Michael Bisping, I guess, just disappeared. Don't know what happened to him. And there are no fingerprints or fibers or anything on their bodies. 0 forensic evidence, which is pretty wild. And then she mentions the box. Just this one image of this weird outline. That's what gets Gordon's attention.
What the hell?
Sort of an outline of the experiment. And it doesn't even look nearly as horrifying as it looked in the room.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a ghostly apparition, not a hideous monster. But as soon as it moved, it disappeared. But they're interrupted by a page.
Director Cole, on your phone, it's Cooper.
What?
On your phone, it's Cooper.
2 Coopers.
On your phone.
On your phone. So they go to Gordon Cole's office. This is the first time we see his office. He has that beautiful poster behind him with the White Sands experiment, which is obviously going to come up again later. Episode 8. And more perplexingly, a picture of young Franz Kafka. I'm not sure why that's there, other than I know that David Lynch likes Franz Kafka.
Maybe Gordon Cole likes him too, I guess.
Yeah, that would track. Yeah. Likes weird stories. Certainly there's a metamorphosis that happens throughout this episode.
Dougie wakes up as someone else.
Yeah. Ooh. And then this is a good one-sided conversation.
What? Where? Are you sure it's him? All right, we'll be out there first thing tomorrow morning.
I feel like it is good. Like, he does wait the correct amount of time in between saying each thing about what and where and are you sure? And he makes plans to go to the Black Hills of South Dakota, 9 a.m. sharp. We get that fun back and forth with Albert and Cole about, like, him not hearing Albert correctly.
Right.
Albert, we're headed for the Black Hills of South Dakota.
The Black Hills? Seriously?
As happy as this news makes us, Albert, we can't put this on the radio.
Perfect.
What do you think he thought Albert said when he said Black Hills seriously?
What did he respond?
He says, as happy as this makes me, we can't put it on the radio.
We can't put it on the radio.
Yeah. Because the next one is, he says Mount Rushmore.
I've been dying to see Mount Rushmore.
It's good you want to hurry. We fly at dawn, and Tammy, you're coming with us.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to figure that one out. Whatever it was.
I don't know, because I kind of thought he's just pretending not to know what Albert's saying, you know, like he's like, yes, we're all excited about going, you know, like I'm not hearing anything else, but yeah,
that
I don't know
definitely
about putting it on the radio.
Does come up that one time. There's just like that one moment where Albert says, you heard me, and he did hear him.
Got busted hearing.
Your turn.
But you'll go with me?
Say please.
What?
You heard me.
Please.
But that is interesting to think about all this time. It's just a little game they have. And then this, I didn't know. I had to look it up. Tammy's coming with him. After he leaves, Albert says to Tammy,
The absurd mystery of the strange forces of existence.
that could be a good description of what's happening in this episode, I guess, or this entire series. But it is also a subtitle to an unproduced David Lynch script called Ronnie Rocket.
R.R.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, Amy! Good job.
Good
Wow. That's crazy. He originally intended it to be like a follow-up to Eraserhead, not exactly a sequel, but sort of in the same universe. But he could never get a studio to make it. Sadly.
Sadly, no surprises there.
Right.
So apparently he's used elements from it in other things like Lost Highway. Apparently the Ronnie Rocket script has a lot to do with electricity, two worlds, and sacrifice and greed. You can find the script online. I haven't read it, but it's out there. And then he also says...
How about a truckload full of Valium?
Right.
Why does he say that?
That's a weird thing.
Totally
You know,
random.
she responds like that's a normal thing to say, right? She's just like, yeah. Sounds great. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess he just means like this is gonna be a lot. You know, like what we're all gonna need to chill after this. Whatever, whatever's about to happen is not gonna be chill.
No, it is not. It's a Blue Rose case. They're never chill.
Yeah.
They're the opposite of chill. And then we cut to the puddle at the Bang Bang Bar. I love that shot.
Yeah.
See it a couple times. I really love it. Tonight, the Cactus Blossoms are playing at the Roadhouse, singing a song called Mississippi, and they spell it. And my fun personal connection with that is I remember when I was a kid and I learned to spell Mississippi, I just did it all the time. It was so fun to spell out loud for some reason.
MISSISSIPPI. It is fun. I haven't said that out loud in a long time.
Did you not learn it to like M-I, crooked letter I, crooked letter I, humpback I? No.
I know what you're talking about. That's not how I learned it, though. I remember hearing it later, but it was literally the way that Krishane said it. Although I guess they don't finish it in the song. They stop with P. The second P. Mississippi.
Something is missing. Thanks for leaving me hanging there.
Yeah. Mississippi what? Lots of happy couples. Everybody's having a good time. Someone ordered nachos.
Ooh,
There's always some sort of meaningful sounding lyrics in the songs in this particular one. My angel sings down to me. She's somewhere on the shore waiting for me with her wet hair and sandy gown. Who does that remind you of?
Mm-hmm.
There's a dive I know on River Street. Go on in and take my seat. Just lots of Red Room energy. I don't know how he found all these songs, because they all existed before.
Right.
Yeah.
And somehow he just found all these songs that had thematic lyrics that were perfect, and then the bands themselves sounded like something that would be playing in the Roadhouse, and it's perfect. Starring Kyle MacLachlan. That's the end of the episode. This one was dedicated to Don Davis and Miguel Ferrer.
I feel like everybody died.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Don Davis died in
Who is Don Davis?
2008.
I didn't
That's
know that.
breaks, major breaks.
Oh, okay.
Heart attack in 2008. But Miguel Ferrer died after filming this.
Recent.
Yeah.
Throat cancer. Yeah, a lot of cancer too, actually. Is that how Harry Dean died too? I forget. Or just from being really old.
Really old.
He was really old.
Yeah, it was one we didn't question it.
Like, yeah,
some
that's
people
like, that
die
makes
and
sense,
you don't
okay.
ask, oh, how did he die?
He died from being 98 years old. Motifs. We talked about a couple. Obviously, electricity is always a motif, but I feel like there is so much electricity in this episode.
Yeah.
Constant. The alcove ring we see, but also the cashier at the casino is wearing a green ring. Dealing with difficult people. Like Albert with Cole as well. And then 315, as Amy mentioned.
There were 3 women wearing red.
Ooh.
So we've got, what's her name? The Diane.
Naido.
Yeah. She's in red. And then the American girl.
Yeah.
Also in red. And the drugged out 119 girl is also wearing a red top.
That's true. And the red balloon. And then the cashier's wearing a red vest.
4.
Yeah. Red ladies.
Red ladies.
Love it. Oh, here's some numerology stuff I wrote down, actually. And Amy will know about this, probably. The 15th major arcana in the tarot deck is the devil.
Oh.
And it usually represents feeling stuck.
Yes. The devil card also represents somebody controlling people from behind the scenes.
Ooh. Yeah. And then number 3, do you know about that? That's the Empress.
Oh, that's a card I don't know that well. It's kind of just like what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, it's a regal lady with a lot of power.
Yes. According to the thing that I read, it was compassion, beauty, and love. That describes a lot of people. It describes Laura, it describes Jade, it describes Coop. Any other motifs anyone noticed?
I thought earlier on it was people not being able to speak or not being able to communicate. You know, like Naido and then later Dougie. I feel like there was someone else earlier that can't talk, but I didn't see it really towards the end of the episode.
I think you're right. I mean, they're certainly having communication issues in the conference room at the sheriff's office.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, just having difficulty communicating, definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Roadhouse is proud to welcome...
All right, ready to give awards?
Sure, yeah.
All right, I want to start with the Fish in the Percolator Award, which is the funniest moment. What you thought was the funniest?
There was a fish in the percolator.
Shame, why don't you go first?
Definitely Jade noticing the suit and the haircut before the pile of cat vomit above his head.
Yeah.
Cat vomit, not cat vomit, yes. I laugh out loud every time I watch that part.
That's great. Shout out to Nefessa Williams. That's the actress's name, Nefessa Williams. She's got a great name.
Her
and
facial
she's
expression.
So good.
Yeah, she's so good. She's the highlight for sure.
Yeah.
Mine is also Jade related, but I feel like it's even funnier that she gives him $5. You know, like, for a phone call. There's a call for help. Here's $5.
Maybe that's the smallest bill she had. She's like, I'm not giving you one of the hundreds you just gave me.
Right.
Here's
It's just a very funny amount of money to give somebody, you know. It's like more than nothing, but like barely more than nothing.
Yeah. She's like, well, it's probably enough for a phone call, I guess. I don't know.
This will take you somewhere. I don't know.
I mean, she has already done more than she needed to. Yeah. It's just Jade. It's just all of Jade for me.
Jade, yeah.
Every moment of her. But mostly, I think the pushing him out the car at the very end, I really like that whole thing. It's just like, we're done.
Right.
Or maybe the shoes. Maybe the shoes is my favorite part.
Right.
But I really love it all. Ceiling fan. That's the scariest moment. It wasn't a terribly scary episode.
Not a very scary one.
What did you think, Amy?
Mr. C is just so menacing and scary, and when he's like trying so hard to hold back his gross barf, like it's not like very scary, but he's pretty scary.
Mm-hmm. Unsettling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Krishane.
Naido being yeeted into the abyss.
Ooh,
like that is
fair.
that's a nightmare thing. Like just floating forever in space or somewhere in the abyss.
Yeah.
It just leaves a pit in the bottom of my stomach. I'm like, oh no. I can't even think about this right now. It hurts my brain.
Wow. True. Faster and faster.
Yeah. Just keep going.
Do you think that if you were falling in space, that you would slow down after a while or go faster and faster? Faster and faster. And for a long time you wouldn't feel anything. And then you'd burst into fire. Forever.
I did look really carefully to see if she caught on fire at the end, but she didn't. Be cool if she was like, at the last second. I said the 119 part just because, like, it's so disconcerting. Like, what happened to this lady? What is her story? She's not okay.
Yeah.
It does make you really think about it. No matter where it goes, it's sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no way there's, like, a happy explanation for this scene.
Yeah.
All right, LVP.
You've got to shut the fuck up, James.
Who sucked the most in this episode? We didn't even have James, so. Krishane.
Jacoby. Easily. Just pointless. It's so pointless.
He never has V, so yeah.
Yep, unanimous.
Also, he has those stupid glasses on under the thing. It's like, shut up.
Like, give it a rest.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to do it 24/7. Are you trying to project?
He's so annoying. I really am glad Nadine comes into her own and he inspires her to do that, but that's like literally the only good thing he's ever done in his whole miserable life, I think. All right, MVP. Who do we got?
I mean, I got Jade.
Yeah, I got Jade.
I got Jade.
Oh,
Jade kills it. She gets Cooper he needs to be.
She does.
Yeah.
Just by being a nice lady.
Right. Very patient. Patience of a saint.
It's incredible. Like, how the fuck was he going to get there otherwise? It's the only way.
Probably get assassinated first.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And she saves his life by not noticing the speed bump. Like, everything. Right. She drives over the speed bump fast because she's too busy trying to instruct this guy who's had a little stroke or something. And then later she mails that key back, which Cooper remembers. I think it's episode 17.
Frank, do you have the room key to the Great Northern Hotel? 315.
What? How do you know about it?
Major Briggs told me Sheriff Truman would have it.
And he did have the key. Mm-hmm. And then Cooper says the past dictates the future. So that's kind of cool. It does. The Coop loop, Coop loop, Coop loop.
What year is this?
All right. I guess that's it. We did it. Yeah. Any final thoughts about Call for Help? No.
Got nothing.
It's pretty straightforward. It is, even though like a lot of weird shit happens, it's still pretty straightforward narrative. I can see why this would be frustrating to people who like to watch like Breaking Bad or something. It's like the plot is very toddling as the plot kind of follows Dougie's pace.
Yeah. I can see, like, I didn't watch it when it was airing. This would be a hard thing to wait a week in between episodes.
I think that was one of my problems.
I'm not a binger at all, but
at least being able to
to watch it like the next day.
Yeah, like if you just want to watch the next episode, you can instead of like, oh my god,
Yeah.
what are they gonna do next?
Well, they did air part 4 alongside part 3, so people could watch part 4. But then after that, it was one at a time. They do kind of go into each other, but I just thought there was so much going on in part 3 that we didn't need to do 4 right now. But it just keeps getting better and better. Krishane, I'm just curious, what's your favorite episode of The Return?
Oh God. I don't know if I can answer that right now. Honestly, I haven't thought about it.
Yours is 8, right?
I mean, I love 8. 8 is amazing. It's just the most interesting episode of television that I've ever seen.
It's really good.
I guess that would be your favorite.
Yeah.
And it's creepy.
Yeah. I mean, I do like part 4. What got Wally Brando up in there. But I got my favorite characters who show up. I love Janie, too. Naomi Watts is amazing.
Good.
Yeah, she was great.
Well, thank you so much, Krishane. This has been delightful. What a lovely afternoon spent in this room.
Awesome fun. Yes.
If you enjoyed this episode of Really Weird Stuff, please take a minute to give us 5 stars on your preferred podcast app, especially Apple and Spotify. If you did not enjoy this episode, no further action is necessary. Follow us on Instagram at Really Weird Stuff Pod, on Blue Sky at Really Weird Stuff, on our website reallyweird.stuffpod.com, and on YouTube at Really Weird Stuff Pod. Really Weird Stuff, a Twin Peaks podcast, is hosted by Jessica Baxter and Amy Green. Music by Angelo Badalamenti, Julie Cruz, and Jessica Baxter. Produced and edited by Divine Betty Media. Thank you for listening.